So wait, now I'm dying to know which movie would.
Oh my gosh. I knew you were going to ask me that. And I feel like what would the name? No, you have to make up its own title.
Oh, make it up.
You know what? I don't know why. It's, I don't even know. Oh, he said, I know what he said. Oh, it was brilliant. He said, well, I have to wait till the script is written until I can name the title of my movie.
Oh,
that was genius. He would have won Miss USA with that.
Welcome to Your Mom. Your Mom Podcast. Your Mom's Podcast.
This isn't any podcast. This is your mother's podcast.
My Mom's Podcast.
Nah, dude, she's your mom.
With Ashley Addison and Lisa McCaffrey.
Your mom is a podcast.
Shut up, dude.
Welcome to Your Mom. We are back. Ashley Adamson, Lisa McCaffrey. It is officially the month of December, which means that the holidays are here and that your kids have probably been sick for 3 to 4 straight weeks and that they're going to be home for another 3 to 4 weeks for winter break. I don't know when winter break became it. When back in my day, Lisa, winter break was not 3 weeks, but now it's like kids are home for like 3 weeks.
No, that's insane. That's crazy.
But it's December.
Too long.
It's too long.
Yeah, it is. So all your holiday decorations are up. You have a roast in the oven, and
I do
Christmas lights. Everything's perfect.
Christmas music is going right now downstairs,
and the kids are just busy coloring pictures and writing their list for Santa. And you already have all the presents done and packed.
They're already wrapped
up and wrapped under the tree.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Good. Same
for you, right?
Yeah.
I wish I could. I wish we could flash to like a live shot of what my actual house looks like right now because it's very similar to that. Okay, I am excited about today.
We haven't cleaned up since Thanksgiving, for the record.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. That was only like a week ago. You're good.
It's fine.
I just have to say that, and I get excited for all of our interviews, but this one, the special guest that we have today, truly, and you said it, you predicted it, Lisa. You said that I was going to fall in love with Melissa Hutchinson the second that I met her. I called her, we talked on the phone, and 2 hours later, I like blew through like 3 meetings, and I was like, I just can't get off the phone with this amazing
hair.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't matter because I had a new amazing best friend. Yes. So
you're good people.
Melissa Hutchinson, the mother of Aidan Hutchinson, who was the 2nd overall draft pick, if I'm not mistaken, by the Lions last year, and played at Michigan, which is how you two knew each other. So Melissa, we usually do some like big grandiose introduction. We're going to get to all of your accolades and all the things, but
wait, and can I just one more thing? She has 2 amazing daughters too that I'm in love with. Her daughters are equally as amazing as she is, in addition to Aidan, and I love them. I got to know them a little bit when I'd go out in Michigan, and they came and visited us here, and I love them. If I had a daughter, I'd want them to be just like them.
Mia,
they're so fun,
and
so
Aria?
creative, such go-getters. They're awesome. So. And we'll figure out why, because once you meet Melissa, you'll know why they're so amazing.
Guys.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Melissa, and I just also have to give you a shout out, Melissa, for those of you listening to this podcast, I'm going to recommend that you go watch this on YouTube because Melissa's studio is like, most people show up like in their closet,
I almost did
like trying to, on their phone. And you've got a whole setup.
It's a professional
like dreamy
setup.
up there.
Good space. Good space
It's
for
amazing.
photography, yoga.
Yeah. That's a great
So, hell of my career.
And you are
And
a
yes, I am.
photographer. You are a
photographer. We
You should
built the
start with that
studio
too.
when we moved into the house. Actually, when we were looking for houses, that had to be a space. I wanted to be home with the kids, or at least working while they were, somewhere else in the house, right? And we found the perfect house to renovate the whole attic.
It's so cute. I've been there. It's lit. I just wanted to like sit and drink tea and like hang
Good
out
space.
and gossip. It's magical. It's
what we
and dress
have.
up in costumes and
Well, that's basically what we're doing right now.
Right around the
remotely.
corner,
So
there's lots of
Let's do that.
costumes
I hope
and
you got your
dresses.
tea.
Like, what can we do?
I know.
It's all like, you come up
Literally.
here and you're like, what can we do? What kind of creativity can we
I
muster
love
up?
that.
So it is a lot of fun.
So before I met you in person, when Aidan arrived at Michigan, I had somebody say, "Oh my gosh, you've got to meet Melissa. She's the best. You got to meet Melissa." So of course, like every red-blooded human female on earth, I stalked you on the internet. And I stumbled across the pictures you take. Okay, let me set the scene. You took your beautiful daughters, first of all, each one are just absolutely beautiful. And you dressed them in these flowy, awesome dresses. And you set them in like the Serengeti in Africa with this like dark background. And then they just popped. Or in the Louvre in Paris, I know what you did because I asked you. They went into the bathroom, they snuck the outfit on, and then they came out and they're like posing in front of the Mona Lisa and it's so cool. It's the best photos you've ever seen in your life. So get on her website, her photography website. You can say what it is because they're the coolest photos I've ever seen. They're really neat. So you have a gift and a talent, and it's fun.
Thank you very
much.
Fun to look at. We would just kind of incorporate the girls into our travels too, because I'd be working as well and creating fine art and using them to create art for my house. And then other people would, they would say, oh, can you do this for me? So that's what I went back into my fine art after. I mean, I would still do photo sessions and, seniors and babies. But my background is fine art, and it was hand painting black and white photos. So I would create these painterly photos of the girls. Those are, that's the artwork that's hanging in my house. And it would really immortalize them wherever we were, whatever vacation or trip we were on. Sometimes I'd be with a group of photographers and bring Mia along, or Area if they were available, so that they could, they could kind of be in these iconic storytelling pieces of art from other photographers too. So that's what I always told them. I said, you always want to be part of great art. It's easy to take a headshot. It's easy to, do the Vogue headshot, but I always told them, be part of something iconic like that has history, that has symbolism, that tells a story of your life, rather than just a headshot. That's kind of what I always push with females.
Yeah. So then you just to juxtapose, you see my family vacation photos, and it's like, if I could get all the kids to look at the camera at the same time, I felt like I won. But most of them, they're like in the middle of fighting with each other, mismatched clothes, dirty. Like, I should have somehow.
No, but I don't even have a family portrait. I never hung a family portrait on the wall. I never did their school pictures. It was always something that they were doing that meant something to them. So we don't really have the vacation picture. When people ask me like, oh, we need a family picture, I'm like, oh gosh. Did somebody do a cell phone picture like out on the field? So those are our pictures that, actually include the 5 of us. But yeah,
those are the best.
Well, it's so interesting that we are talking about family photos and trying to capture that family photo because, this is sort of the news hook for the timing of when we're having you on, Melissa. As we mentioned in our last podcast, your son, Aidan, was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy a year ago, which is, I'm sure it feels like longer than a year ago in some ways.
Yes, it does.
Seems like a lifetime has happened probably since then.
Yeah.
Lisa and I, so it was almost, I'll back up, 7 years ago to the day that the idea for this podcast was born. And we've told this story a little bit in the first episode, but just to revisit, 2015, I'm working for the Pac-12 networks. They send me to New York to go cover the Heisman ceremony. Christian is a finalist. And that was where I really got to know Lisa. I'd met her once, but it was where I really got to know her. And I saw Christian as like a son for the first time because they were taking a family photo and Lisa was just giving him shit. She's like, Christian, like, can you stand up a little bit straighter? Can you please look at the camera? And he was rolling his eyes and so annoyed at his mother. And I was just dying laughing because I'm like, this is the first time that I've seen Christian through that lens. And then I got to know Lisa a little bit more and was like, this woman needs her own show. There's no question about it. So 7 years later, here we all are. And what's funny that I was thinking about the other day when I was thinking about this story and I was talking to Chris, the part of that story that I've never told, I don't even think I've told you this, Lisa, I almost didn't go to the Heisman. We had planned a really big Christmas karaoke party at my house that was that Saturday. I had friends coming in from out of town. Like, I was so excited. I got the call from my boss like a week before.
Oh my gosh. Did you hate Christian?
Well, my initial reaction was like,
for karaoke. She lives
I
for
live
karaoke.
for karaoke and I live for Christmas. And it was the culmination of my two favorite things. And my first initial reaction was like major disappointment and sort of like, I've got some carols to sing. Like I've been working on Baby It's Cold Outside with Chris for like months. Like I don't think I can go to And then my brain turned back on and I realized that this was, a once in a lifetime opportunity and I got over that very quickly. But I am glad I didn't miss it, mostly because this podcast wouldn't exist and I wouldn't really.
Wow, that's amazing.
Review. So I'm glad I missed that Christmas
and it was
karaoke
fun.
party.
It was kind of fun.
It was so fun. And so that's where I want to start with today is for both of you to like, and Melissa, when we chatted, I'd love for you to kind of tell your sort of understanding of the Heisman before even you went through the process. But just, I'd love to start off, and there's so many different things I want to talk to you both about, but your experience of the Heisman as a mom and watching your son go through it and that night and all the rest leading up to it. But Melissa, let's start with you. When did you first like know about the Heisman?
Well, over the years, obviously, back when Chris played football and as he'd be watching year after year, I really didn't have an understanding of the game at the time when my poor husband played because, sorry, Chris, but I was kind of wrapped up in my career. I didn't really have my head in sports. So I really didn't even know what position he played. Even when I met him, I had to keep saying, what position, So, and after that, he went right into medical school. So I didn't really have that opportunity, He'd be watching football though, but, the Heisman would come up. He'd be watching that. And I remember learning about it, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, and him telling me it's, this is really like an offensive award. And this is before I think Aidan even played football. Maybe he was it had to have been grade school. But I remember thinking, wait a minute, that's not fair. Hold on. You were telling me that like defensive players like barely can ever like can't win this award, only two or one. Well, Charles Woodson, and wasn't the other one?
Yeah.
From Notre Dame. Was there another one that was defensive? Two. Yeah.
Leon? The other one.
Right.
So anyway, I'll look it up.
Really testing my football trivia here. But I remember thinking, gosh, it doesn't even make sense. And that's, and getting all like, well, why don't they make an award then for the defensive guys, to be able to work towards and to be able to have that, like, just that final thing that you might win, you could win, And so literally, again, Aidan wasn't even on my radar to play football. So the fact that we ended up at the Heisman, I still cannot wrap my head around it. It's probably more shocking to me now than it is then, because I was in such a fog, and now as the fog is even clearing and I look back and I'm like, did we really do that? Was that real? And for him to be up there as a defensive player was astounding, to me, because I thought, well, gosh, competing with other quarterbacks, I really did realize the significance of it, just from, all of the stuff that I had heard about it before. So it did not go unnoticed. And the gratitude that I had for that was beyond, and I thought, wow, that would be really cool if he won as a defensive player. But it didn't matter if it was him necessarily. I'm proud as a mom, but it was, if there was any other guy standing up there that the odds were kind of against him to get in that position as one of the top 4 defensive players, I'd probably be pushing for that guy too. I know I would, actually. So we just made a joke after even that we were going to come up with the Hutchman and the Heisman, the Hutchman for all those defensive players that could maybe, have their own. But
right.
We were joking.
Could have, should have.
But you make a great point, and you're exactly right. And your intuition, however many years ago, that makes no sense that it's an offensive award, and really has become a quarterback award,
right,
as much as anything else as well.
Leon
Hart.
No, wasn't he from Notre Dame?
1949.
Notre Dame. Right.
Notre Dame. Yep. Defensive end. So he and Charles Woodson. Yeah. So it makes, to me, it's the
they
goal.
should probably do a Heisman for offense and defense.
Cool?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. The Hutchman.
Bad idea.
They can leave with the Heisman, and then that's the Hutchman. I'm for that.
There you go. Right.
Another H name there of a defensive player who was number 2.
So your expectations.
Let's start that. Let's make that happen.
I'm on board.
There's so many changes in college football.
Let's write a letter.
You write the letter. That'll get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's protest. Let's make signs and protest.
Aren't we, Lisa?
For old time's sake.
Yes.
Which that's a story that we need to get to in a minute as well. But your expectations of going to New York. So you weren't like, when you were going to New York, it was kind of like, let's just go enjoy this. But was there a moment that you thought that he was going to win?
And I'll tell you when. Well, first of all, when people were saying Hutch for Heisman, I could not believe it. It was like a blur of disbelief. So I thought, oh, that's so sweet that the fans are saying that, wow, that's nice. And we were on a plane to, I believe it was Vegas, kind of the start of this trophy tour that he had. And people had on their TVs and they were watching sports. And that's when he came up on ESPN or whatever as a finalist. And it was kind of on these TVs around me. Chris was across from me and I literally wanted to stand up and yell as loud as I could on this plane. Like, I'm pretty quiet about these things, but I couldn't believe it when I saw that he was a finalist and we were going to New York. So we added that on. I think that was a Monday night. And then we were going to be in New York on a Friday, you know, but I thought to myself, wow, this, you know, just for the fact that Michigan dug itself out of such a hole, right? 2020 was just a nightmare for those guys. Just one of those seasons that Aidan was taken out midway with an ankle injury, which I was actually, in a way, as a mom, relieved because it was just so much negativity with COVID, with just everything going on. And it's like nothing they could do was right. It was such a dark time. And then watching the games and then just starting from there with this 2% chance that you would ever go to the college playoffs the next year. So I thought it was such an incredible story, just taking myself out of it personally. But when and it was like that kind of hope, like that would be so cool for all the defensive players out there. Really, it would be such a statement, you know, if he had won. Again, separating myself that, you know, this is my son. But when they were getting ready to announce it, they said, I think they prefaced with "history has been made" or something. And I was like, in that split second, I thought that was the sentence before, because I'm thinking defensive players don't win. So that would be like historic. So I don't really know if it was because, was it the first Alabama quarterback? Maybe, I don't know what the historic, like this is like a moment in history, like history has been made and then announced. Bryce.
Yeah.
So, but in that 1 second,
well, and Bryce Young,
my brain went there for the first time. and then I was like,
of course.
And that's not a good time for it to go. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I just, like I said, just to be there, you know, for Aidan's position and kind of what you have to achieve as a defensive player to, you know, get noticed like that and, you know, get voted for something that big is just really extraordinary. So how about you, Lisa? What was your whole
like same
when Christian was named a finalist and like where were you? What did you?
I think when it was official, I was up in my living room upstairs wrapping presents, not for real. I was. And I'm like this, and I didn't think it was real. People would joke about it and talk about it or not joke about it, but they would, you know, the fans, just like you said, fans, and there were signs and whatnot. And I thought, oh, that's the coolest thing. I can't believe he's even mentioned in the same sentence. And I'm like, oh, there's a lot that has to happen in order for this to, you know, come to fruition, you know, luck, injuries, no injuries. And the team has to do well, all that stuff that's kind of out of control.
Heisman voters watching games.
Yeah, people actually watching games, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, but no, it was incredible. And like, you never thought this was going to happen. And then all of a sudden they announced and we're like, whoa. And it was like a whirlwind. It was right before what you called the trophy tour. So we were packing up, getting ready to go to Atlanta. Ours was in Atlanta first and then to New York right after that. And it was just it was a whirlwind. I know that we were trying to get all the brothers there and get everybody there. So, and they were all playing in the middle of their season. So, but I will say this. And you think, oh, wow. And then and then we're like, Ed's analyzing the stats. Like, does he have a chance or is this just like, should we just enjoy the ride? And we thought he had a chance, you know, not confirmed at all. You know, he had some great stats. And then when we got to Atlanta and they had those awards happen, we knew because we talked to many reporters that were all like a lot of SEC reporters that had votes evidently. And I did not know how it worked. I did not even know who got a vote and whatnot, but we had probably 8 different guys tell us, oh, shoot, I didn't get to watch the tape, but I hear he's a really good player. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, I guess we have no chance. If you didn't even watch the tape, that's not a good sign. So, and not to take anything away from Derrick Henry. My God, that guy is just a hoss. That guy's amazing. Like, if there was ever a guy to lose to, that's a good one. So he's really good. But, you know, and then you're like, well, you know, who did more for their team that year? Alabama would have won with, you know, whatever. People say that. I don't know. I don't care anymore. It was just to be nominated was pretty amazing. And everybody and their mother says that, just to be nominated. But I'd like to thank my parents and no. No, he was, it was just, you said you're disappointed right after. Absolutely. Sure. But then after, when you reflect back, you're like, oh my gosh, my son was.
Well, I remember you told me, you would, we were talking on the phone, and since I just got college all under my belt. Okay. It took 6 to 8 years. I was photographing Aidan in football. So that's how I learned the game. And then I was finally getting all the different divisions in college and understanding all. So I'm the newbie in the NFL right now. I'm getting that all under my belt, right? I didn't know. Chris knew, Aidan knew. I remember Aidan was like, oh, Dylan's on the team. This is back when he was a recruit, and just talking about the big football family. But I didn't Lisa, you said it on the phone about Christian being a Heisman finalist. And I remember I was like, what? I just remember I just went through that whole thing. I was really late for the party.
Because that's the first thing I say when I get on the phone.
That's how she introduces herself.
So we were talking, and it was just such a cool thing. I couldn't even wrap my head around it. I remember thinking, what must be wait, what? She went through the Heisman with her son? Are you kidding me? Then I'm looking it up and everything after that. But I was super late to the party with that one. So my apologies. However, so flash forward, right?
Oh, gosh. I'm holding that against you.
Flash forward, and and I was just like, wait, what? This has now happened to me? How? This is not even real. It's just not real. So it's really, it was really special. But
and it happened so fast. From the time they announced it, you're on a plane. You're like, whoa, whirlwind. Whisk you away, getting out, trying to get the appropriate clothes. You
texted me it is a whirlwind. Enjoy every moment. And I'm like, oh my God. I have to enjoy every moment. We have got to take pictures. She said, I got to take pictures. You guys have got to take pictures. I hardly took any pictures. And you told me, you warned me, and I didn't. I missed the assignment. And I was like,
no, you did not. No, you did not. No,
and then I was relying on the photographer. So I still can't get the picture. I was trying to get the one of Aidan and Tim Tebow and RG3. And I'm I still haven't gotten those. And I'm like, oh, I know. I couldn't get them. They're done with us. They're moving on. They're you don't get any pictures.
That family, it's a new family. And yeah. Well, I'm just remembering, Lisa, as you're talking about, Melissa, that question that you just asked, Lisa, totally jogged my memory. And I had completely forgotten about this. We talked to Christian because we were hosting a show, and we found out, and Christian was available to talk to us. So we talked to Christian before he talked to you guys, once he found out that he had been a finalist for the Heisman. So I remember asking you how that made you feel that we had talked to Christian before you did when we found out. And you told me that I was now responsible for all of his parking tickets. That made me legally responsible for all of his parking tickets because I'm his mother.
And I've resented you ever since.
Yeah, exactly. And then I didn't pay him because I couldn't afford it. And here we are.
Yeah, it's insane. He basically built a wing at Stanford with his parking tickets.
But to and I can speak directly to, at least for Christian's experience, and this is, again, not a knock to Derrick Henry, who was a phenomenal player, is a phenomenal NFL player. And and that's the thing, everyone is deserving. But Christian, he broke Barry Sanders' NCAA single season record for all-purpose yards. He was one of those players who impacted not just the program, but the Pac-12 in such a significant way. And I think the thing that was so hard for all of us to swallow, and to the point of what Lisa said about Heisman voters being I wish I had seen him. I wish I knew about him. I wish I watched him.
That was the one frustrating thing, I'll be honest, about the weekend.
And there were so many, and he had that phenomenal Pac-12 championship game where he threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, and caught one.
Wow.
Most of, I can't remember what the percentages were, but there was 50% of the votes had been cast before that game.
Right.
And so,
no, I think it was 72%.
You do know the percentage. I remember it was over 50 and being it was insane.
Yeah, you're wait, what? Let it play out.
Why people are not waiting? Why Heisman voters are not waiting until after the conference championship weekend? Because you have more data available. Your ballot isn't due
right, and you're
Monday
going up
after.
Against hopefully a high-powered team.
Yes.
Let's see how you do against a really good team.
Those, you talk about Heisman moments that. To me, it made no sense. And so,
hey, you know what? The fuel for the fire. Fast forward to the Rose Bowl.
That's what I was going to say. That was when I was the Heisman voters need to greatness. Iowa, an apology. Yeah. Oh my God. He came out and was just it was on another level.
Yeah. He had a little chip. I'm not going to lie, but that's competitive. Yeah. He's competitive. Aidan's competitive. That's what
absolutely
makes them pretty good. So It's good. It's fuel in the fire. There was
we didn't have such a great bowl game after. So
yeah, it's an experience.
the Georgia.
That was oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. But yeah. But they needed like the whole like offensive line to stop Aidan. Wow. They like needed everybody and their mother to like come in and block Aidan to have him contained.
Well,
so
and I will just say this is not something that I have really talked about much. And it's funny because so last year was the first year that I had a Heisman vote. I wish I had had one in 2015, Lisa. Not that it would.
You don't care.
Maybe it would have. Yeah, I wouldn't. I probably would have voted for Derrick Henry anyways. Yeah, but
or Deshaun. No, I think Deshaun was the other one. Deshaun Watson.
I obviously took it very seriously and feel very honored and privileged to be able to vote for the Heisman. And I remember as I was looking through everything, and my dad is someone who my entire life we've bounced different things off of, and we just sort of went through and looked at like all of these different measures, and we laid everything out, and I had all these different conversations. And it, to me, and I think I told you this, Melissa, like it wasn't that hard for me. Like it seemed pretty obvious once you kind of pulled back and you talk about somebody who makes an impact and makes a difference on a team, and the integrity part and the leadership and all of those things that the Heisman stands for. And for all that what you just said about how does it never go to a defensive player? Like to me, I was really hoping that he was going to win. And this was before I knew you and before I've never even met Aidan, but I think he stands for, and as does Christian, everything that award is supposed to be about. And that doesn't take anything away from Bryce Young or Derrick Henry at all. But it's a beauty pageant of sorts.
I have said that's from the get-go. As I've experienced this whole thing, because I was, that was part of what I did when I was younger. I mean, my daughter going through the system for Miss USA.
Yeah. Can you tell everybody real quick about your daughter?
Won Miss Michigan for Miss USA. We just did Miss USA. Like, amazing. Was it October? Yeah, beginning of October, first week of October. And as Aidan was going through this whole process, I kept saying, I actually have a couple documentaries that because I have said it a few times that this is the male pageant. Females kind of get raked through the coals over that, but this is, and what they do through the combine training. And then because they're training, right? They're training, like even the way they're eating, everything is even a little bit different, right? For those 5 months before the draft or before the combine.
Before the combine. Absolutely right. This absolutely different training than
it is, football. Right? Yeah. So they go on this global stage to show everybody what they're about. They're being interviewed with pageant questions. Like Aidan was asking the questions he was asked from the teams. Like if you're like for a movie,
can you say some of the questions?
If you're like for a movie, what would it be called, and like why? What would you name your movie? And it's like, oh my gosh, because we learned this a long time ago.
Like how does that have any impact?
Chris said they ask you questions. Like this was years ago. Chris had said, oh yeah, they'll ask you like, I don't know, just to kind of see how you handle it. Really, that's what the pageant world does too. See how you can speak, how you can handle yourself, right?
How you fare under pressure. Yeah.
So that was hilarious. And here these guys are in the combine, basically standing in their underwear. Girls are wearing their bathing suits and being head to toe poked and prodded to see if you are the prototypical.
Checking their teeth, their hips.
Yes, like if he was the prototypical defensive end and where he fell short, and God forbid, his T-Rex arms evidently, because they're, 7/8 of an inch shorter than what they're supposed to be, became the Twitter meme along with Kenny Pickett.
Right.
Him and Kenny Pickett.
Yes, right. I was just going to say.
And you're like, oh my gosh, and so, and then you wait for draft, right? And you're waiting for their name to be called and you're waiting to see where the countdown is, that kind of
how
thing.
They place.
It starts with the one, right? And then goes down. But it's really a high pressure situation in so many different areas than just their athleticism. And, but yeah, it's a male pageant. Love it.
Yeah. Christian got one of the coaches, I think, and the general manager were sitting there, and they flashed up his worst game and his worst plays. They just had a highlight of all his worst plays he ever had at Stanford. And they were like asking him how to react. What could you have done differently? How do you react to all these? Just all the bad ones. He's like, okay. And he had to like gracefully, tactfully describe what was going on. Why did that happen? Was it his fault? Was it?
They want to see if you're going to blame everybody else, if you're going to blame the coaches, if you're going
exactly right. How you react.
So yeah, that's really where, you know, and you can prep for that. It's just same thing. It's just prepping for interviews and, you know,
Right.
but there's never a wrong answer. That's what I always told them. You just answer from the heart and, you know, and just be yourself. That's really what we told him.
Yeah.
But he is himself. But, you know, you just have to just reiterate, like, if you think they're trying to trick you, you have to just answer from your heart, you know, and if they don't want you because of that answer, good. Don't take him. If that is what you're going to judge his career and life, you know, on is his one little answer that he felt like he flubbed up. I don't want him to go to that team. No way. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Exactly.
So wait, now I'm dying to know which movie would.
Oh my gosh. I knew you were going to ask me that. And I feel like what would the name? No, you have to make up its own title.
Oh, you make it up.
Oh, wow. I don't know why it's, I don't even know. Oh, he said, I know what he said. Oh, it was brilliant. He said, well, I have to wait till the script is written until I can name the title of my movie.
Oh, good.
Oh,
that was
genius.
He would have won Miss USA with that.
Absolutely. He got instated as the head coach right there.
It was
and
so
player.
Good. I was like, wow.
That's a great answer.
Really good.
That is a great answer.
I was proud of that one as a former pageant person.
Yeah. Boy, now I feel like I need to figure out what mine would be. Yeah. I don't have a good answer.
I hate being put on the spot like that. That always made me
There's a movie already out called Trainwreck. So that's already taken, Ashley. So I don't think we can do that one, but we'll keep brainstorming.
Thanks. Yeah. We'll
so good.
Joking.
Oh gosh.
Hot Mess Express. The sequel. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. So, and then I'm curious for you, Melissa, what has it been like? Because you talk about this journey through a mother's eyes, right? And whether there's a lot of moms and parents listening to this podcast whose kids are never going to be a finalist for the Heisman or never going to get drafted in the NFL. But it is about watching and helping and supporting your kids as they figure out what they're passionate about and then going to chase it. So how, like from your perspective as a mom, like how have you tried to help Aidan and your two daughters who are chasing different things? Like what is sort of your parenting philosophy around helping them get to find what they love and then go do it?
So I've always been about obviously doing what you love, right? Like you've got to have the passion for it. You've got to love what you're doing. And from there, I think I've been a person who just always really encouraged, you know, good communication, you know, with all of us. Like, what are you feeling right now? Okay, what do you want to do? And then I always kick in gear as to like, okay, you want to do this? What are we going to do to get you there? What can I do to support you? You know, so I will put information on the table and it's up to you if you want to pick that up or not. You're not being forced to do it, but this is what it's going to take to do what these dreams and goals that you have, that you're writing down every day. This is what it's going to take. Now you're going to know that. You have to know that more than me because it's you. It's not me doing it. Right. So I think I've always been like mental and emotional, obviously. And then Chris is like with Aidan or with even the girls, because he just figures out all the logistics of everything, right? Well, with Aidan, I'm talking about like them going through film all the time. I'm sure Ed does that with the boy. Obviously, Ed does that with the boys. You know, you have this kind of built-in coach right at home. So Chris they had their way after every game and going through all the plays and everything like that. And it's funny because, you know, Aidan, and this was just from when he was really little too. I always wanted him to just keep expressing himself. Cause you know, sometimes boys get older and they get a little quiet, right? They get a little like, you know, and I always wanted him to like,
right. Especially with daughters in the house. I've seen that with my kids' friends. Like if they have sisters, they're usually more general, more vocal and talkative. And so the boy kind of they love it, but they just seem a little more shut down.
And the girls used to call Aidan white noise. We always used to say, because he'd be like, and we had the two girls that are his older sisters that are just like, you know, and so I always really encouraged him to, you know, like say, even after every game, like, you know, he'll tell me kind of from head to toe how he's feeling. But I started really getting into the whole health aspect of it as well. I love Eastern medicine. My husband's in ER. So it's like you just see constantly about, with lifestyles, right? And it's just something I've been interested in, energy, vibrational medicine, ever since I've been little, like a little girl, right? And so we've really applied that to, anything the kids are doing, and the way you think, thought, and just all of those, just meditation, all of that awesome stuff that when you commit yourself to it, it works, but it is hard to commit yourself to it, right? I still want to write in a journal every night, and I can't. Aidan does. He writes in his journal every day.
Is he living at home? So is he able to live at home? No,
he is not. He is not. He's living about a mile away right now. So I have to feed his cats, and I'm like, if you live literally 30 minutes away from me, and I can't get to your cats in a timely fashion, it was just a joke. If I'm the cat babysitter, no. But he ended up finding. Just in our little town, it's a nice, for him to be just too far away.
No, it's so nice.
Himself,
that's so special. You have him
amazing.
Close by. Sorry, I'm jealous. That's amazing.
Oh, it really is. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not grateful for that. And you just never know how long that's going to last, right? Yep. I mean, and it can change in a few years. So we'll see, but it's nice right now, and I'm embracing it. But so yeah, I think that they're all invested as well into, all of that. So everybody's talking all the time. I've got the girls' boyfriends. I mean, we're just always together, and we're always, just really diving into life and analyzing it and what you need to do and how to make yourself healthier. And Lisa, you and I had a great conversation about this when we first met, because we discovered that Aidan and Christian were very much alike in
taking care of their bodies. Right. And I remember going into your pantry, and you have all those like Eastern medicinal things there. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. You're like, I was like, wow, look at these. What does this do? These tinctures, or I don't know what you call them, but
tinctures. Yeah.
You're like, you're getting a sniffle here. Your little mini pharmacy. I loved it. No, it was neat. All organized, really neat. So, but yeah, Aidan and Christian are on
kind of, not really. Maybe only when you came over, but that
it wasn't.
It's not like that now. But I think that we all have this. We like to research like how your body can heal itself. When you're a football player, obviously you're in pain so much, right? So applying everything that I did just for my family to the football industry is kind of life changing in a way, because it is life changing because he won't even take Motrin. I mean, very rarely will he take Motrin. So all in between, it's like the way he takes care of his body, anything he puts into it, if it's going to weaken him in any way, you know what I mean? Because he's got to stay playing on a high level, right? And his goal is longevity. So 10 to 15 years in the NFL, you got to have your headspace like way ahead. And what am I going to do with my body today to help me it last that long? Right. Let's say he had a bruise or something, and he would, be getting the shots that they get you through the game, right?
Yeah. Tore it all and whatnot. Yeah.
We'd be like, no more, because it's going to start. We just come from, we're just like, no, that's going to start to suppress. That's just suppressing. You need to have your body not have any invasions and just heal on its own, and you might have to get through the pain. It's not going to damage anything, but it's going to be painful. So he's taking that very seriously. And, it's just something that's non-invasive, and it's really worked very well for him, and, and he'll continue to do his thing. But the good thing is with him is that we just have conversations about all this so much. It's just a lot of fun. Everybody just.
That's a great bonding thing for the two of you. Cause I know sometimes you forget what position he is and stuff. So that's a good thing.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Right.
Yeah.
Did he ever connect with Tom Brady? Because this reminds me a lot of like the Tom Brady school of thought of just him understanding, he's talked about it, like having a revelation of like what you put into your body. Actually,
look at him, how much he's changed over the years. Yeah, it was impressive.
Right. So I don't know how many years ago this was. I would say maybe 8 to 10 years ago. I was like, like Tom Brady's doing something different. I was like, there's something. He
doing looks better now than when he got drafted.
Do.
He's like aging backwards.
Right, exactly. And I started researching that and seeing his trainer, Alex Guerrero. And I said to Chris, so I kind of wanted to see what he was putting out there. I started reading his book, and it was based in traditional Chinese medicine and just the stuff that I already did, or was interested in, or had my, what to avoid, as an athlete as far as food. So then I was really curious about what they did with pliability, and I wanted to see it firsthand. So Chris was able to connect and, get Aidan in to go see Alex. So it was great because that's what I was like, yep, let's go to TB12.
Yeah.
Let me see what they're going to do. Let's see if it's something different than what you're used to. And so it was great. I mean, he just, whatever they did, he felt great. But again, you can't just do that and not do the whole lifestyle that goes with it.
Right. And it has to be
that's like all the body work gets done, right?
Absolutely. And it's,
he lives the lifestyle while he's getting the body work done.
Right.
So you really have to
it's
do
a sacrifice, but that's your body is your temple, and that's their job is to take care of their body and to be the best player they can be on the field every week. And in order to do that, you have to go through do exactly what you're saying. Otherwise it's going to conk out and not work.
Exactly. You can't just get the body work and then, not think that either caffeine, alcohol, or whatever is not affecting it. It is going to affect it.
Does Aidan not drink caffeine either?
No, he doesn't. Actually.
Wow.
He doesn't. And he doesn't. And sugar, he's really like, maybe if Mia makes him his favorite cake every so often, it's not anywhere by a game, he might have a piece, but he's pretty disciplined with that. But it's funny how he can even sense like little changes. Wow. Like if he does,
what I mean? They're so finely tuned. Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Talk with Christian. That's so funny. You're saying that. Yeah.
Aren't they? Isn't that interesting?
Thing can make a difference.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of guys are like that too. I think they've known or they know that that's what you have to do. Isn't LeBron James, doesn't he do, I think he invests tons into his health, right? And like,
I think so. Let me call him and ask him real quick.
Text him.
Can you please? I know you have him on speed dial, Lisa.
I'll text him real quick.
Yep.
But he is.
People that. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Good. That was a good answer.
So he's actually in Lisa's living room right now.
You good? Yeah.
See?
No, put that kid down, LeBron. What are you doing? Come on.
God, LeBron. So but I think that it's just something for Aidan that he doesn't really talk about it too much. He just kind of puts his head down and does his thing. And if anybody kind of asks him what's going on, he'll be like, he'll just kind of tell them or share with them the different things that he'll do before the game or the vitamins that he takes and stuff like that. So, but he doesn't go around and
preach it.
Say, oh, I do this and I do that.
It's not like
he's
Lisa,
very quiet about it.
Oh, I drink.
Yeah, I know. Like,
what's that green stuff in your water that you're always bragging about, and your
the Heisman finalist.
Yeah,
I know.
It's like, I don't start with that. I start with, you know what? You look a little low in magnesium. You need to up your magnesium. Have you been urinating a lot lately?
But so what has it been like though to watch? I guess two parts to this question. Like, A, when did you know that Aidan truly had a special talent that he could get to this point? And B, what is it like to in real time watching him play not only in the NFL but for the Lions, like the team that you grew up around? Like you're from Michigan, and for it just it almost a little bit feels like a fairy tale.
Oh, 100%. I think Aidan, I never really did know if he had the special thing going on for any level. I had to ask Chris. But Chris was such a realist, right? Like back in the day, was Ed like this too, Lisa? Because it was like, oh God, like, and you didn't want any expectation on your kid. Aidan wanted like all of Chris's stuff in his room, the Big Ten championship rings. And Chris was like, when he started playing football and he wanted to play for University of Michigan, and he was maybe in 7th or 8th grade, Chris is like, oh gosh, like I just don't want this in his face. Like just, it's so hard to do, and the commitment and everything. And I just want him to have fun, work hard and have fun and get playing time. That's all really what Chris wanted. And just some of what he observed expectations of parents in grade school, even 7th and 8th grade, where he's just like, he just never had that intensity about what Aidan, about Aidan playing football, as far as unless Aidan came to him, so he's like, and he'd only give him out just increments of information. I'd be like, oh yeah, why aren't you teaching him that sweet spin move that you did as a 5th year senior in college when he was in 7th grade? He's like, he's like not ready for that. Okay. It's like, we're not. Yeah. you can't give these kids too much information. And he didn't ever want to overwhelm them. He never wanted to do it without Aidan asking him, can you help me with this? Or can you show me this? Or can we go over film together? But it's like when Chris started seeing something in high school, like sophomore year, then that's when I would be alerted, like, because I didn't know what great technique was. And, I can't watch Aidan playing in a game and know if he does something great or not at that time, Even now, I keep bumping Chris going, is that good? Is this a transit? Like, how is he transitioning into the NFL? What are you seeing? All the intricacies, because he sees everything. Right. He knows exactly what he needs to work on. He knows exactly what he does so well.
It's one thing to watch a running back and be like, oh, I can tell that was a great play, or a quarterback, that's a great play. Yes. But I think when you play the position where you play defensive end, I get that.
Exactly. And I learned just by listening to them and all the different moves and all that. So I never really, and then I see the plays that they're like, okay, look at this one or look at that one. But as far as him getting selected by the Lions, that was so crazy because, first of all, I couldn't even go there because, again, right? Because I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so amazing, I didn't care about numbers in the draft. Everybody goes nitpicks between all the different numbers, you know what I mean? And I was like, just please, I just prayed for a culture that was going to be energetically really good for him. And sometimes if it isn't, that's also a lesson too. That's also the adversity that they have to go through for whatever their goals are going to be. So either way, but I just was like, please, a culture that he's going to learn so much from. And he's going to, and here, there was just so many connections to the Lions, including my grandfather actually cooked for Henry Ford II. He was his chef.
Wow.
The Ford family owning the Lions, and I'm meeting Sheila, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, this is crazy because my grandpa, he was the executive dining room chef.
Wow.
And he's in Lee Iacocca's book. He wrote about the Swiss Italian chef.
Oh. Now, is this your mom's dad?
I was so proud of growing up.
Okay.
Yes. Joe Bernardi.
There was a wonderful feature that I saw.
Oh, there was.
He served in the military, right?
Yes, he did. He was a Merrill's Marauders. Aidan has his dog tag that was given to Aidan. Aidan, for the draft, that was his jewelry. He had the dog tag replicated for him and I. Cool. Just a dog tag. And I love it. They kept it a secret. He gave it to me the day of draft. And I mean, it was just so emotional because he's kind of Aidan was named after him. So it's Aidan Joseph Bernardi Hutchinson. It's my grandpa's name. Wow. The whole name in the middle. And he walked me down the aisle. He was the family that raised me. So much that goes into my grandfather, So the fact that it's so much synchronicity with the Lions that even before that, I was like, okay, thinking Jags might take him, right? But I just was like, if the Lions, oh my God, if the Lions took him, it'd be almost too much to handle emotionally. And it was.
I was going to say, what was it? What was that?
We were all crying.
Yeah.
That's why we were all bawling.
Yeah. What was that moment like?
Oh gosh, it was Aria. I thought was going to pass out, my daughter, because she had said, if Aidan doesn't go to the Lions, I will be sobbing.
Oh.
I will be sobbing at the draft and everybody will think I'm happy that he went to another team. if he doesn't go to the Lions, I will be sobbing. And I'm like, okay, you need to get it. You need to hold it together though. All right. And I think when it was just, you'll never forget, right? The moment of seeing 313 pop up on his phone. I mean, oh God, just indescribable. That's all I can say. I mean, That's all I can say. I mean, we would have been grateful anywhere. I had gathered the family because there was reports coming in that the Lions weren't going to take him. I don't know if it was just, I don't know what it was, misinformation. So 5 minutes before the draft starts, we start hearing all this different information. And then we knew Houston, it wasn't the right fit. And then, okay, Jets. And so I didn't know. And you get all oh my gosh, and what's going to happen? And you don't know. I feel like any of the parents and the players going through this process, waiting to see where they're going to go, I just feel for it, right?
It's so intense. And there's so many rumors that fly around, and you have your agent telling you, well, I guarantee it'll be this, and it's not sometimes, and it's disheartening, and you're sad, but you're trying to not be sad for your son or your husband, whatever.
It's so high emotion that it's so high, and your heart is just pounding.
Right. But you're trying to put on a smile, everything's perfect.
You're
we're good.
Yeah. And you want to pass out. I started like, oh God, I wanted to pass out. And that's why I had to I realized we were all sitting so far apart. And everybody at home, they're on the couches, they're together, they're hugging, they're waiting. And I'm thinking, I got to get my family together.
I saw that
because
picture
I feel
of you guys. Yep. I saw that.
Right. So
amazing.
I got everybody together and we just had this, really this talk about trusting in God and saying, wherever we're meant to go, we are going to meet amazing people. Breathe in God. That's what we always say. Breathe in God. That's Aidan's whole thing, like on his draft suit. What I used to say to them before they were going to perform, and just take that deep breath. And you see Mia, she'll be going like this, like tapping your thighs, like relaxing yourself. She's like, okay. And then we just had to reset and go, this is all just pomp and circumstance. Where we're at right now, it's like not an illusion, but it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like where they're telling us we're going to go, that is part of our destiny, and it will be good. It'll all be good. And that's really what we said together. And, and then here 313 pops up, and we were just, yeah.
I have chills. I have chills just thinking about it.
It's so perfect. It's almost too perfect. It's amazing. Yeah.
It is incredible.
It was cool. There's a reason, I'm like, why, like I always say, trust in the path. Our path is here. And why? What higher purpose are we going to serve? Are we serving? Do we need to serve? That's kind of how I see it. You know what I mean?
Melissa, I want to talk to you at that point that you just made. And it was something that when we got on the phone and all of a sudden 2 hours passed by that we talked a lot about and that I just thought was beautiful.
I know, it was so easy.
No,
too.
it was. And
so
I had like 8,000 more things that I
could
could have asked you and talked to you about. But I think, I just think it's beautiful how the way in which the lens that you look and your family looks at, you guys have been given a lot, and what are we going to do? Like, what is our purpose? How are we going to serve? How are we going to help other people? And I just think I'd love to know sort of how, was that something that you grew up with? Was that something that you came to at a certain point? Like, where did that, I don't know if it's like a mantra or a lens that you look through, because it's clear in sort of every way that you're looking at these different things, that is always right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was from my mom, my grandfather. He was a super high character, full of integrity, humble man, very hardworking. My mom, the same way, and no matter what I did in my life, and, being in the modeling industry from when I was young, I came to my mom, I said, oh, I'd love to try this, did pageants. My mom and I had just a blast together doing all of it. Right. But it was always such a grounding in spirituality, right? This, education. Number one, so, I went to Michigan. I was always an artist as well. So then I got into photography after that and really left that industry and photographed, babies and kids. It was like soul food for me. It was soul food when I first got into photography to work with these just innocent children that brought me just so much fulfillment, just watching them and just the simplicity of life. And so that to me, and then creating art, and that to me was always like just number one on my list. And I was always rooted in God, in higher purpose, and how are you going to help someone else? How are you going to empower somebody else? And that's really what happened with my photography, is that because I was in that industry and because it can be detrimental, right? Can be detrimental parts of that industry. With Instagram coming out and women and girls just having to see, just so much information coming at them where they might not feel worthy.
Right. It's like fake perfection. Yeah. And no one's perfect.
So, yeah, exactly. Right. Like I think that as I was studying that too, and photographing a lot of girls, I never became a fashion photographer because I didn't want to go back in the industry in that way, but B, I realized how empowering it was for these girls. It was like, let me photograph you. Let me take the mystery out of the model. Let me photograph you in the way that you're going to be just like, oh my gosh, like what, and I realized that women were empowered through that, seeing them. So I think because we see ourselves sometimes differently than how other people do. We're very hard on ourselves as women, right?
Yeah,
very
that's been a theme.
And
every mom.
So yes,
true,
exactly. And just right. Yep. And so much at us. And I think just caring so much and being like, you brought this, but can I put you in this? Can I do your hair and makeup? Can we just, and it would just be like, to cry, like emotional, like moms would write me after and be like, their self-esteem was so, down, and this just, the way they felt when they left, and that I'd cry. So that to me was very fulfilling to me. And that is like my higher purpose. I love connecting with people. So do my girls. And they were always, whenever I took a picture of them, it wasn't to put out to, you don't put that out to like, oh, look at me. This is, this is like an invitation in, of, oh my gosh, my mom took that, you should go see her. Or when you come over next time, we'll go up to the studio and we'll do a photo shoot, and I love that. I love doing that for parties. And so that was really, it's just always been that. It's like, if you don't trust the path, if you don't, have your higher purpose in mind, then it becomes about the earth and materialistic stuff. And you know what I mean? You always have to have that, especially with Aidan and, being in the draft and going second overall, that can never change you. You know what I'm saying? Like we all know what the illusions are in life,
Right.
And he's so grounded and he's so spiritual too. That's, I hold my family tight together, just with that whole philosophy and just how we think and how are we going to now give back, or if there's a little bit of time that goes by and you're like, we need to give back right now. We need to like pick somebody and surprise them. Or, do you find that too, Lisa, with, things with Christian and like, how you can just, all these kids that are looking up to Christian, you know what I mean? And just by him turning his attention to one of them.
Oh gosh. Like, I've watched kids, it just makes their day. And I always try to remind him of that. I said, look, you just, I know you didn't want to, but you turned around and went back and signed whatever. And you just made their day. Yes. You need to realize that impact is so special and is so neat. Look what you can do with that. Use that for good, help and give back and keep that in mind in all of this. So,
right. And that's for you, that's you saying that too. That's, you know what I mean? Like raising your kids and always getting them to, as they're on their path, to get them to, think
outside of themselves.
Absolutely.
Football,
outside of themselves.
Like football, you're just so consumed with your body and your, how do I feel? But I always tell Christian, like, whenever he gets like too much in his own head, I'm like, hey dude, you need to open your mind.
Yeah.
Think of somebody else, get out of your own head. And even if you just go up, the neighbor kid and go, shoot hoops with him, whatever it is, just realize that, it's a big world. And a lot of times that rectifies the issue. He kind of forgets about what's ailing him and what's bugging him or whatever.
Yes.
So, it's kind of a good lesson for everyone, just to try to, I don't know, go out and do something.
Go outward. Yeah, go
exactly.
outward and get yourself from being inward with what's really important. And I find life just does that anyway, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you think, the situations arise that like stop you in your tracks to like go, whoa, I was like worried about that. That's ridiculous.
Right. Exactly. Yes. And you're like,
So, and that's where I think you just, now I'm like, there's obviously a reason we're staying here and, and we'll see. It's like, we'll see what the rest of the script is, I guess,
It's, and what are the girls doing now? Tell me about your beautiful, amazing daughters. I love.
You're so sweet. Oh my gosh. They were actually downstairs. They'd want to say hi.
Oh, good.
Mia is doing Aidan's. So Mia's a full-time photographer as well.
Okay. I knew that,
and so she does Aidan's social media management as well as content creation.
Love it.
She always helps him with his fit every week. So she works with him all the time. They're just a great duo together. You know what I mean? And, so Mia is, kind of part of that industry now. And from there, I always say Mia needs her own podcast. Mia would be, she needs to do it. She belongs to
I love it. Yes.
Microphone, that girl, right?
Yes. 100%. Yep. We should get her on. So if I die skydiving the next time, that's who you grab. You grab me.
Yes. Oh God. She'd do that with you. Oh, 100%. Did you did?
I
really
did.
Do
I
that,
skydived.
right?
Yeah. I went skydiving.
Oh my God. I have to see that. I didn't see that. I heard about it.
Yeah. I know. I didn't post anything about it. I don't know. Just kind of
scary.
It was a dumb.
You scared?
Oh, deathly afraid. It was.
Dude, I think I might die in air of like a heart attack.
I thought I was. My heart was pounding. It was the scariest thing I think I've ever done in my life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Was it just when you were done with it? That was it so exhilarating?
I was really proud of myself for doing it, but I was still scared. you know what? I like craved somebody just to hug me. It was the weirdest thing.
I was going to say, did you like touch the ground?
My fire in a blanket and eat cookies and
say I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
I know, for real. So anyway, yeah.
Oh,
Puts life in perspective. So anyway.
oh my God.
Okay,
Totally.
so
But
Mia, I love it. So Mia's working with Aiden. That's
Yeah, Mia's-
perfect.
yes.
She'd be so
Yup.
amazing at that. So good at it. Yeah.
and doing her, we're doing, Mia's like the game person of our family. Like her love language is playing games. It's a lot of games we play with that girl. And for her birthday, that's why I did the murder party.
Love it. Oh, that's so good.
On Saturdays. That was a lot of fun. But everybody gets into it now with Aidan here and he's dating someone. Everybody's like into it. So we're having fun with that.
Fantastic.
And then she's doing her thing. She'll be starting medical school in July.
Oh, wow. Underachiever. Poor thing. Yeah, you should really try to boost her spirits. It's so sad.
Getting this year off and then she's got to go like lock her way in to study. But it's so funny because she was like, wait a minute, hold on. Am I going to be locked away for 4 years and you guys are going to be just all together having fun at all the games? And I had to assure her we weren't going to leave. Don't worry. We have breaks. Chris
I'm so proud because I think Dylan was actually in a class with her. So that makes me feel like, okay, maybe my son's not really dumb. Maybe he's...
How's Dylan doing?
He's doing great. He's doing great. He's just graduating. He's getting his MBA. He got his MBA there. Graduated. He got his degree at Michigan and then got his MBA at UNC. Just graduated. Really? He's trying to figure. He just finished. Literally just finished. He's trying to get his body back in shape. He had a bad groin. Little things which also contribute to another ankle thing. So he's trying to get his body back in shape and. We'll see what he's going to do. So he's trying to figure life out. So, but he just finished. So I know everyone asked me, I'm like, can he just have a week to figure it out? So
yeah, can you just not ask until like we just have a little bit of time? I mean, it's true because even now it's still transitional, at least with my kids, like I'm not quite an empty nester yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, sometimes I'm like,
it's a between. Think how we feel. Think how they must feel.
Yeah.
Dylan said, he's like, I'd feel like a loser if I moved back in with you and Dad right now. And I'm like, Dylan, my gosh, it's okay. You're just fresh out of college. Let's give yourself a break. If you had to do that for a few months, it's going to be all right. He's not, and I appreciate that. I'm like, well, at least I kind of have hope that you're not going to be like lingering in the basement for 30 years, just like mooching off us. So that's a good thing. I need to appreciate
even though that sounds kind of fun. I mean, I think it'd be great to have Dylan around.
And you got a long time, Ashley, for your empty nesting days.
Although
it is
we talked about this with Sonia Curry of like, it's a whole new sort of world, certainly for them, but like for parents and, talking about kind of going through that transition. What, you said you're still kind of like straddling both worlds, but what's this phase of life for you now? Like, what are you excited about? Because I feel like you've always got something kind of that you're thinking about.
Good question. Yeah, because I mean, I haven't photographed. I gave Mia all my clients basically. It was like, oh, I can do it or Mia can do it. And then I would assist. This is how she started out. I would oversee all the editing and she's just completely on her own now. But she actually just photographed one of my former clients, a mom, for her headshots up here this morning. So it's really come full circle, you know what I mean, with her. But because my studio is here, Aria uses it for yoga, Mia uses it for photography. And they're like, Mom, I mean, because they're still at home right now, but it wouldn't make sense just to move out and go pay for an apartment somewhere. Aria may have to do that with medical school at Wayne State eventually. But I said, you guys, you can do whatever you want. I mean, if it's easier for you to be here, you know what I mean? That's fine because we're all just kind of still in the area. So why would you want to do that? And their boyfriends have homes. All the boys, the 3 boys, Aidan and the 2 boyfriends all have their own house.
Oh, that's nice.
And so, yeah, it is kind of cool. And so they do when they want to get away from me, my voice is like
beautiful,
like that to their ears. I'm like, just go to Cam's, go to Tim's, go ahead. I need the break too. So we do have some reprieves and, but a lot of them are over here. So they just, they kind of just bounce around. That's and so nice. Yeah. But as far as like what I'm going to do after, because, I'm thinking, Lisa, we talked about this too a little bit because you and your art, which
we have not talked enough about that, by the way, on this podcast.
Needs to have its own show.
Thank you for bringing that up.
She needs to be interviewed for.
I agree, Melissa.
Because you are such a freaking phenomenal artist. And you, like, oh my God. I mean, she just whips things out. No, like she just sits there.
You're so nice. You're so nice. And I'm like, way too much credit. No, I'm such a hobby. It's such a, I know. No, I've never done anything with it. I had some friends over there. They're like, well, we should set up a thing at an art festival. So maybe that's on the horizon one day. So
You really, really should. I think about it a lot, and I have professional pictures of all her art now too. So see, she has no excuses. She can put them up right on.
Oh wow!
She can advertise for it.
You probably make them look way better than they are. But
no
Tim,
way. Are you kidding?
Mia's boyfriend Tim is a legit artist. He's so talented, very talented, and he's done a couple things for Aidan, right? Hasn't he?
He did Aidan's. The graphic. He drew and hand painted the lion, a blue lion that we have like on the Hutch merch. And so that's really, he has like a 97 in the eyes. It's super cool, but you know what I mean? It's just kind of this iconic blue lion, but he's really, really good at that. He's working on a book right now, a children's book that there's like 20 people that cried when he reads it. And so I can't wait to see.
Will you give us a copy?
The little pigeons I will. Yeah. It is so beautiful. I can't wait for him to get that done. So everybody's just kind of doing their art. Now, for me, I'm like, am I going to,
oh my God, can I move in with you guys? Cause my kids are all doing football stuff.
Remember we were going to do art retreats.
I know. Remember? Let's do it.
I know. Everybody's ready for an art retreat. And so I don't know, am I going to work on my art? Am I going to go more in? I really enjoyed the marketing part of Aidan's, like Mia and I. You call me Mel and Mia when we're out on the marketing.
Okay, good to know.
You don't call me mom, because we always kind of get in. I love hanging out with production, all the production people and the crews.
They're so creative, aren't they?
It's kind of my background. Yeah, it's like what I did, and Aidan just did like a commercial, and that was like, so Mia and I are there and we're giving him tips, and that's what I always did with him too, was giving, like interviewing things, and he's always like kind of looking to Mia, and she'll be like, giving him like, you do this more, do that more. So, we're kind of his people when it comes to that. And I really appreciate that he lets us come on board.
Right. And they're not like, oh, go away, mom. No, that's awesome. He respects you. Yeah.
Because I think it's not in a mom way when I do these things with him.
Right.
It's a way of like, it's educational for all of us. Right. It's like what we're all really good at.
Right.
Everybody in the family.
And all people in the world, who wants the best for him more than his mom? Like, you're going to want him to look his best or do his best, whatever it is. So yeah, that's good that he appreciates that, and you have
a good eye, right? Very. Just from being creative and artist. And so are the girls. Right. And so I think everybody's careers in a way actually lend to his career.
Right.
They all work in some capacity. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So everybody can be involved. Even the boyfriends. Yeah. I've got the other boyfriend working. He loves the supply chain management, like merch.
Oh, wow. Area. Perfect. Oh my gosh. You have your own little business there.
It really is. And everybody's really interested, and everybody's just, we're all like, we always joke, we all get optimized together, and we have a lot of fun, and so, I mean, we'll see how long that rides out, and, you never know what can happen, but like,
if somebody is like parched and gets dehydrated and passes out, your husband can tend to them and fix them. So it's like everyone works together, right?
Sticks the needle in, and it goes, and the bags are right there in our pantry.
Perfect.
Ready with the needles, we're ready to go. But so I think that, but as far as I don't, I'm just kind of riding the wave right now of being like everybody's manager in a way.
Love it. Awesome.
I'm on speed dial for everybody. And I think you too, Lisa. I mean, right? And I mean, Ashley, you too, but it's going to get worse. Yeah, I'm just going to warn you. Okay?
Don't get him a cell phone ever. Stop. Don't ever get him a cell phone.
It's going to get more. The mom. Yeah. You think it's a lot now? Don't think
it doesn't go away when they go.
No, it gets worse in some ways. So,
but it does. It does.
Ashley, go ahead. It feels like, and we talk about this in my family because it's big enough, and everybody does sort of different things and has different specialties. But it's like, if there's something that you want help with or that you need, to be able to know that you can probably just call a family member and you're going to be able to get some like real advice, or they're going to know someone who can help you with something. I just think it's so special. And I think you clearly have that. And I think for you guys to be able together as a family unit, and each of you to bring your different specialty, and your different lens to what you all have to offer in your own experience. I love that. And I think it's special and unique, and ride that wave as long as you can is what I would say from an outside perspective.
Well, you have that, Lisa, huge with, the girlfriends, right? That whole, everybody is just so close, and you're looking out for each other.
Right. It's nice to feel that you have people in your corner and you're in their corner, and a nice little support system, which is great. So I appreciate that.
Okay,
but we all don't live so close as you do. So I'm jealous. That's amazing.
I know.
No,
it is special.
It is. But you just don't know though. Yeah. And they could honestly next year.
Yeah.
It could be
knows
different.
the future, but appreciate it now.
I am appreciating it right now. It's the proximity helps with especially all the stuff that we're helping out with. Like when Christian first moved to North Carolina, how were you guys had to have been back and forth all the time, just helping him get like settled in and stuff. What was that process like?
Yeah. Well, the team helped him find a place. They said, most guys move in here. So he moved in there. And, he took his best friend here who had just graduated Oklahoma State and pays him. He's his manager, has been his manager since
Tim, right?
Tim, of course. Everybody knows Tim. Tim's been to more Michigan games than any of my own teams. He's like another friend to me. Yeah. Tim is the greatest human being ever. And I'm so appreciative he's had him and he's in there. They're still so close and he's so helpful. He's amazing. I love him. And I don't think Christian could have done what he's done, moved and everything without him. He's been a huge blessing.
Yes.
So, and learned along the way. Like it's been a neat experience for him too, I think. So yeah, loved him. We did fly out a couple times to help him, get organized, help him move his stuff. And we kind of helped him navigate all that. And so
you know what?
I'm
supposed to be Aidan's interior decorator since June. And he's got a couch and a bed right now. So I'm like, he's like, am I going to get more? I'm like, no, that's all you need right now.
Are you going to get fired? You might be.
I might. He's threatened a couple times because I'm
tell him his cats are going to starve.
Okay? I've been a little busy managing all of you guys. Okay. I got to get my own house done. Like it's funny though, but it's easy because he lives close.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you get a dining table, it's going to be filled up with stuff. You're not even going to sit there. Trust me.
I remember when Ed,
he has some bar stools. We're good.
When Ed first came out and we'd go to other players' houses, every single player had black leather sofa and a fish tank. Every player. It was like 90s. It was like the 90s.
That's what I'm missing.
Fish tank. It was the funniest thing. Yeah.
I get that in there. I think he'll stop complaining.
Fish tank and a TV. And that's it. That's literally all they had. It was like a joke. I'm like,
as long as their TV's hooked up, they've got their gaming system in another room.
That's all they need.
Yeah, like a Die Hard poster. You're fine.
That's it. Exactly. That is it. He has literally a neon sign that in a room that he's using to game that says good vibes only. No. And I'm like, you bought that for your good vibes only. I go, if I had gotten good vibes only neon sign last year for Christmas, you would have been like, what? He's good vibes only. I guess that's where we're at now.
But then he's like, hey, Mom, relax. It's good vibes only in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down.
Read the sign.
Did you read the sign?
I saw that and I liked that. And I thought, last year, and I thought, oh, my kids would laugh at me if I got this for them. I walk into this house.
Well, the best is when eventually your kids start to become you. Because, we all become sort of some version of our parents, I think.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And do you see when your kids, do you see things your boys do stuff or, your daughters that you feel like they're like, oh my God, that's me. I just saw me in my children.
Yes. I do.
Scary.
And
it's great. Like when Aidan has a sack, that's all you. You're like, oh my gosh.
Actually, it's not the sack. That's Billie Jean. Billie Jean. When he did the rookie dance.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was the best.
Real quick. And we've gone we've blown through the time, but you have to tell the story.
Kudos to you. That was all you.
Tell this story because this is great.
The best. We should show the video.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh my God. So when they all were on the same competition team because I put them, Aidan would go with me when the girls were in competitive dance and there was about 25 guys and they were street dancers and he would go watch them while the girls were dancing. So one day I bribed him to go in a class and he took the bribe. It was a little Bakugan toy, those things you throw and they turn into other things like Transformers. That was all it took. He went in there and they nabbed him for the comp team. So whether he had that he already kind of had that rhythm and he picked up things really quick. And of course, he has two older sisters that had choreographed every dance on earth from the time he was 1. Okay.
That's what
dragged
you do.
him into everything that they were doing. He was just followed along. Exactly. So he was really good at it. And they started partnering, the coaches would start to train them in contemporary then kind of from street dancing and hip hop, train all these dudes that were, so good. They would do these street battles so that these are the guys that he was with. And then they would kind of mold them into contemporary and partner and all that jazz. Right. So he ended up, I was on the road with them, the three of them all the time. It wasn't football then. It was flag football. That's all Chris would let him play at the time. And so it was before he started tackle in 7th grade. And so we had a ball. Are you kidding? We were on the road. So I think that's kind of unusual for kids too. I mean, you had the 4 boys, right? That were doing a lot of the same things, and they'd be in high school together, football, right?
Yeah.
So they do a lot together.
Overlap. Yeah. Yes.
Right. But when you get boys and girls, they start doing different things.
Right.
But like the 3 were always we're doing this together for this time. And then he broke off and played football. So he always had like a really good, it's just is a really good dancer. So he could completely keep up in the locker room. Like, I mean, that was like that was his thing too, and when he had to do this rookie dance, right? Or song. And, you're trying to like learn the whole defense. You're brand new. You're trying to vibe with the veterans and keep your head down and grind. And then you've got a talent show that you have to do.
Yeah.
It is criminal. It's criminal to do to rookies. Okay. It made me so anxious that I didn't even know what to do with it. I was like, why don't you like roll your stomach like you do? Do something, like, because he rolls his stomach like in this way. He's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not standing up there and rolling my stomach.
Touch your tongue to your nose or something.
I'm just going to dance. You got to commit to it. Just get out there and you can't let him see you sweat. You just got to commit and go hard.
Yes.
Yeah. So he didn't know during the filming of Hard Knocks that he was going to be the first rookie called up. He had no idea. They were just in meetings. And Dan goes, Aidan, get up here and do a song.
Oh gosh.
Thank God 4 days before that, because he had been thinking about this all summer, like, oh God, I still have to do this thing. But he was like, I'm going to do Michael Jackson. And he was like, I'm going to do Billie Jean. So he was actually like rehearsing the lyrics in his head. He had not quite put his dance moves to it yet because he didn't think he'd be asked for weeks. So can you imagine being filmed by Hard Knocks?
No, yeah.
And having to do the rookie song? And I can't. I wanted to pass out. So but I didn't know he did it either. He was driving home. He's like, oh my God, I did it. And he ended up
good. You didn't know before.
Yeah. Right. Thank God. I would have died. So he said he was sitting there during meetings and he would go through lyrics in his head during meetings. Like, oh, that's really great. But he was on the second verse. So when Dan called him up, your heart kind of pounds and you just go up there and he just starts going, like he starts doing that, right?
And the room starts silent. It's so good. Silent.
And then he bombed it. And he's like, oh, and they're like, boo, So then he gets back on track and he does it. And then he puts the dance moves in it. And the whole entire room starts just going nuts. And he was telling us about it when he got home. And I was actually secretly videoing him while he was going through the whole rigmarole for us, like showing us exactly what he did. We were cracking up, and then sure enough, it came out on Hard Knocks, and it was hilarious. But
it went to everybody. Sending it to me. Right? It was so good.
Oh my God!
I see a future on Dancing with the Stars for him. I'm putting it out there.
That's what we've always said. Yep. We've always said that, but it said they came out with shirts that said, "The kid is Hutchin's son."
Oh,
like
I
the
love
lyrics.
that.
Instead of "The kid is not my son," the kid is, and it has Aidan like with the Michael Jackson outfit on. It was so ridiculous and funny. I just love that kind of comic relief.
I just love that he went for it, and especially that like he stumbled first and then came back and just went for it and nailed it.
Oh yeah, exactly. And so he's that guy at home too. Like him and Mia together too are hilarious. And Aria joins in, of course. Mia sings though too. So like those two together and ukulele. I mean, he just one day got out of the ukulele and said, "I'm going to learn to do this." And then he just, it's funny. You got to have those moments though.
You do.
Where it's just not football and it's just fun. And,
right.
Because it's the pressure and losing and winning and hero and zero. And I mean, you just, this whole roller coaster of things in this industry is crazy.
Keeps you
grounded. It goes back to being able to step out of the moment, like you talked about being able to sort of step out.
What did Christian do for rookie? What was his rookie hazing, if you will? Do you remember?
Did he play? He
did the belly roll.
Yeah, it was weird. He either played the piano. I know he recently did he dressed as Eminem for Halloween with the 49ers. And I think he did the rap. He's a good rapper. He has every rap song memorized, top, bottom, left, right, up and down. Like sometimes I'll call him and I'll start a rap and he'll just finish the whole song, be like, oh,
wait,
cool.
No, hold on. Him and Mia Hutchinson.
No.
You don't understand. Mia is, because she's learning Godzilla right now. Okay.
Oh.
Like literally she used to study the way Eminem's mouth moved like rappers.
No way.
And like can like remember lyrics. Like those two together, that would actually
That'd be a great
that show on the road.
We've got to make this happen.
Yeah.
Got to set that up because
oh my God.
she said if she meets Eminem, because that was the one practice Aidan was not at in his whole life because he was sick and they didn't want him to come in, and Eminem came in for Hard Knocks.
I actually saw. Yeah, I saw it on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right. So she said
Christian almost asked to be traded there instead of the Niners just so he could meet Eminem.
You know what? I'm hoping Christian went to the Lions. Okay.
Just so he could meet Eminem.
Meet him so bad. And by the way, I did hear on one of your podcasts that you guys manifest wins and stuff.
Yeah. So what do you want, Melissa?
That love over the Lions.
We already
got two last things
Dancing
for you.
with the Stars. We already did that one.
Stars, that's the first one.
Yep. You speak into existence. What do you want?
Yeah,
These are our two last things for you. What's your what do you want to manifest?
Well, I thought you guys were experts on the wins of the
okay. Well, if that's what you want,
if that's what you want,
a win. Who do they have this weekend?
Maybe we'll just stick to the Lions. We have the wait, I know this, but I'm put on the spot right now, and I'm
Jags.
Jags.
Oh, good one. That's a really good one to win.
Yeah, it is.
Because they pass Aidan up and drafted someone.
Yes.
So that's a good little chip on his shoulder. Remind him of that a lot this week.
I will.
Okay.
Can you? Yeah.
Not that it didn't happen perfectly. But yeah, say that a lot. And I will, Ashley, you ready? Like ready to manifest? Okay. The Lions will beat the Jags.
Are going to beat the Jags.
It will be 23-10. Bam. There you go.
All right.
Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank.
There.
It's out there.
I love it.
Everyone, you all are thinking the same thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 23-10.
Okay. No, I'm there. My brain is there.
Good.
Yeah. I got it locked in.
Manifest it. You do. You got to.
Yes.
It'll happen.
Breathe it in. Okay. Last thing for you, Melissa. What would your kids say is the best part about having you as their mom?
Gosh, I wish they were here. I wish they could answer this.
Bet you do.
They've said to me before, like the emotional investment, the figuring life out, navigating, coping, anything they bring to the table, talking out, probably really good communication that I, really value, and so much that I learn from them too. Right. And I'm very open to learning from them. Like if they call me out on something, I'm very much like, yeah, you're right. I kind of was a hypocrite just now, and, or being able to apologize and really teaching them to, listen to, just the whole, everybody working together to, understand each other. Really. That's my biggest thing. And I talk a lot about that with them because it's an everyday thing, life and coping with it and how to turn your thinking around. Because my thinking goes to where everybody else's does, right? Like I know what is going to like hurt him, or I know, let's say, what he's going to be bothered by. And Chris might even be like, oh, he'll be fine. And I'll be like, no, I can feel what he's feeling right now. And then I'm feeling it as intense, if not more than he is. And then it's just like stopping and then us talking it through and then turning perspective around. Sometimes he'll be like, yep, oh no, I'm over it. We're good. And I'm like, wow, yeah, that was good. I liked your perspective and I like how quick that was. And so, and same with the girls, and just really knowing everybody's personality and why they act the way they act. So I have a very vested interest in that kind of psychology of people. And so that's my strength as a mom.
Yes.
I might not cook. I will not have that roast in the oven at any time soon.
Like mine. That's like,
but you have your
right
tinctures.
I can like throw down some St. John's and some, vitamins and all that. But you don't have to eat. Just take
take these
because I have nothing cooking. DoorDash. So that is really that is where I'm like I did not get my grandfather's chef gene. Let's put it that way. And I always wish I did, but hey,
you have other amazing qualities.
And what I wanted to say is that I think a superpower of yours, having known you just for a small amount of time, but even being able to listen to you. And it's because I know there's a woman who is our hair and makeup lady at Pac-12. Her name is Alexandra Drew. She's absolutely phenomenal. And I feel like even saying she does hair and makeup sounds, it like doesn't even begin to describe what she does, but I
can attest whatever though, because you look really good on on camera. Not so much on your mom's podcast.
Your mom's podcast, that she is not. She did not do this. No, but she and what she does is, and I was thinking of her when you were talking about that people feel empowered being photographed by you, and when you do their hair and makeup, she has a superpower where you sit in her chair. And when you leave, it's like you're confident. You just feel different. You feel good. You feel like the best version of yourself. And that is both with how she makes you look physically, but also just like the way that she is and like the energy that she feeds into you.
Good vibes.
She's got good vibes.
Do you know her, Lisa?
I don't. No, I don't. I just know Ashley looks hot every weekend on Pac-12 Network.
Totally, right?
Like amazing, like
She's
confident, beautiful.
She's amazing.
I have been saying I need to experience a hair and makeup artist that does that. So I literally am going to follow her. And
I will send you her Instagram. Also,
please,
come out and we should do like a full like photo shoot. She can do hair, makeup. She can. I mean,
gowns.
You guys would love each other.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's my dream is to be in one of your gowns.
Bring your
Let's
gowns.
do that. That is my like that speaks to my soul when you say that, and everyone's in, and we do this. Like just create together.
Yeah.
That is my love language right there.
And that's what when you were talking about that, it is a superpower to make people feel like the best version of themselves. And there's so few people who I've ever met. Yes, it is. It really is. So,
and that exudes, it flows over to your children. I see that. Like I see that in all of your kids. They're so confident and so present. And like you talk to them and you feel like they're really listening. Like a lot of kids, are dismissive of adults. They're just so present and caring. And that's a tribute to you. And I get it. And you're amazing. So
we are very
great job.
Impressed by people when you have a matched energy. It's like, I don't care what you do or what it's really like finding what other people are good at and what they love. And it can be anything, you know what I mean? Like, and it just, I mean, people think we're exaggerating or because we have our facial expressions, and especially Mia, right? Like we're just love.
No, you're animated.
We're very animated.
Yeah. And it's sincere,
very excited.
Yes.
And I'm saying that is so amazing.
Yeah. And it makes people feel good around you. Like you want to be, people gravitate to you guys and it's great.
Thank you. I'm just amazed by people's stories.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that's obviously what you do for a living, Ashley, right? You listen to people's stories and that's me. It's like, I don't, even saying my own story, it's like that's counterintuitive. It's like for me, I'd like to learn other people's stories and where you came from and everything.
Yeah. Well, that was when we were on the phone and you were asking all of these amazing questions and that it led to all these different and it feels very
I want to know who I'm talking to and where you're from and what you feel about everything and your kids. And we didn't get to talk enough about your kids, Ashley.
We'll have to do a 2.0. Then we can have.
I want Cora in a gown.
2.0. Yeah,
Cora needs to come from.
She will not, and I can't get her to put on a dress. So if you can get her to put on a dress, then
my gosh,
if she sees Mia,
I will photograph Cora anytime. I love.
Done. Okay, we're gonna set that up. But I did love what you said about like the energy and just there are people who when you walk into the room, the energy gets turned up, and I think I always say like be one of those people that just. When they walk into the room, you feel it and you can feel the energy go up and it's like a light switch went on. And I can tell that you are that way. And I'm sure your kids are too, because grab your phone. I know we asked you a question. You gave a beautiful answer, but grab your phone. I just sent you a text.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And just watch that little, watch that. Hopefully
hold it. Yeah.
And you can just look at it. Yeah. You just watch it. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and hit play.
I don't know if I can.
You're going to start crying before you even start watching it.
I literally just stop right now. I'm dying right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, Mom. We are here to tell you how much we love you. And we want to list a couple of things that we think are pretty awesome about you. So I'll start it off. I think the biggest thing is that we all can talk to you about anything. And I think we all would agree on that. You're basically our family, our team therapist. That's what I tell everybody, at least. I never have to go see a therapist because I talk to you about everything. It doesn't matter the best things, the worst things. You're so understanding and objective and just the best person to talk to.
I would say what sticks out to me the most is just how sacrificial and really how selfless you are. You really, if one of the kids, if one of us needs something, you drop anything that you do. Whether it's for work, whether it's for this or that, you drop anything and you're all in, focused on how to fix this or how to help us in some way. So, I would just say how appreciative I am for for just the selflessness and how, you drop anything to appeal to us and to
make our lives better.
To give us what we need, give us what we want. So thank you.
For me, you are our biggest critic and our best friend in the best way possible. I can always count on you to tell me, and I'm sure you guys agree, when we need harsh judgment and the absolute truth, we can trust you and you alone, and probably Grammy too.
And Grammy too.
But you two, especially you, we can come to you with anything, and we know that we are getting the truth, the real truth. And I think that that's something that, is not to be taken for granted. Having someone in my life and in our lives that we can trust to that degree is something that I'll cherish forever.
Helps to push us to be the best versions of ourselves at all times. I want to add one more thing. One more thing collectively. Yes. Okay. I think you make everything an event. You make everything so much fun. Yes. It's like birthdays, Christmas, even just going, it doesn't matter.
You are
whatever
so
it is.
extra.
So extra. You make everything fun for everyone, and you take that extra mile and make sure there's no stone left unturned in everything you do.
Yep.
It makes it so special.
It does.
We've really been blessed with you as our mom. So thank you. We love you.
We love you, Mom.
Mwah.
Love you back. You guys, whose idea was this? Oh my God. Now, where's the other video where they say what irritates them the most?
Oh yeah, we'll save that for our next podcast.
Yeah. It was too long.
It was too long. It didn't go through we gotta upload that to
I cannot. You guys, whose idea was this?
We do that at the end of every
oh my God.
podcast. And
we've never had,
it's literally the best part.
We've never had all three. We've never had siblings together.
Yeah, because I had watched the whole Sonia Curry podcast. Oh my God, it was fabulous.
And
but
that
it's
was
funny because go ahead. That was what?
Well, I just said we dropped the ball on that. Ashley and I, we tried to get Steph to send a message, and it was our bad. He was on a flight. He couldn't do it. So before we were about to start. So that's why that's the one. So I'm glad you saw that. So you didn't know this was coming.
I had no idea. I've never seen the end. And I am shocked right now. It was so special.
Yeah.
This is such a good podcast.
Wasn't that neat? If ever you're feeling bad or sad,
just watch that.
Yeah, if they're all mad at me, I'm going to be like, but
hey, wait, remember that time? No, and they also did turn that around. Lisa, you asked them what yesterday?
I asked them yesterday, and I asked each individually, and then they're like, "Can we do it together?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, absolutely! That would be even better." And they put that together. They have coordinating clothes. We'll have to post it.
That's why they went over. That's why they went over there today because they're like, I think did they just send it today?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
But we just asked yesterday because we just got back anyway.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Cute. I know.
Special.
They're the best. You have the best gift.
What a gift.
Good job,
that
Mom.
you guys are giving the moms that you're interviewing. Like that is such a special gift. Honestly, I'm shocked. But it's funny because they came back in and I'm like, they said, we just went to Aidan's area, did some yoga with Aidan. And I'm like, wait, Mia, did you bring the bag of popcorn? I was looking for it. You brought that to Aidan's? That's what I said back.
Nice. You're yelling at her.
I couldn't find the bag. Priorities. The bag of popcorn in the pantry. I actually, the tinctures and the popcorn.
That's the key to
I
all
need
of
in my
pantry. But
Thank
I do,
you
Melissa,
so
I'm just,
much.
I mean, and that was
so cute.
The thing that has been magical about this podcast is, and we say it a lot, but to make space to tell people directly, we think that we know the people who we love, how they feel, but to be able to say it directly in a public forum, there's something really special about it. And your kids are amazing and they're a product of you. And it's really
everybody,
special.
This whole podcast I was telling Chris this morning, I said, gosh, it's so great to like have this, talking to the moms, right? And just the perspective you can get from them and just, more than the player himself,
right.
or herself, whatever, each, any player, athlete or, child really, because, you're going to get still maybe more limited from the dad. But when you go into the heart of the mom, and just have this very it's such an emotional really, it's a lot of, very emotional, this whole thing too, talking about raising the kids and everybody here is a mom. And so what you guys are doing is absolutely extraordinary.
And please.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so fun celebrating the unsung hero, the moms. A lot of times they put in all the work and effort and, they don't get enough credit. And this is our time to give back and hopefully give them some credit, long overdue credit. So,
but you guys you're going to have stand-ins for your own. You need to be the subject of your own podcast. Ashley,
gosh.
Yeah. And Lisa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, Melissa, since you ask such good questions, how about this?
Yeah.
How about we do a podcast where you get to ask all the questions?
Yeah.
Because you'd be excellent at that.
Because everybody needs to know your story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think everybody
with your children. No, I mean, just really with women, talking to women and moms together. I mean, for sure. You guys are doing a lot of question asking to everybody else. So,
well, it is special. And the best part about this podcast is that we get to literally, I feel like I'm going to be, you're not going to not be friends with me. I've got your number.
Exactly.
I sort of know where you live.
We're having an art retreat, Ashley.
We're having an art retreat.
Yes. We'll have it right here.
Right
here.
We'll have an art retreat /
or in your attic. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Which.
But it has to be amazing in my attic because you can't do not Michigan winter. It's Colorado is the vibe, right? Or East or West Coast, right? I'm in.
Yeah.
Get me out of a Michigan winter and I'll be good.
Okay, come on.
Having lived in Michigan from ages 2 to 12 and survived many of those winters, I can say once you're out of it, it's hard to go. I mean, I'm so soft
hard to go back.
Oh, I'm so soft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
I'm soft and I live here. I have to run. I have space heaters around me right now. My hands are freezing and it's not even cold up here. But Lisa, did you know that we were at the Colorado game? You weren't there, Ashley, but your mother was. The Colorado Michigan game. The story
is amazing.
Was the miracle at Michigan was I was at that game. I didn't go to every football game, right? And it's just so crazy connected how your mom's at that game, and that's what ended up bringing you
back to Colorado,
back out west because of that game. It's such a crazy story. And it's so
a crazy
good.
story. Yeah. I don't actually know if I've told that story. I feel like I could do a very short Cliff's Notes version of it, but it's a wild story. Essentially, as short as I can tell it, was living in Michigan in Ann Arbor, right across from the big house with my mom and my older brother. After my parents had gotten divorced when I was about 2, my dad was in Colorado. My brother had decided to move back to go to high school in Colorado and live with my dad because that was the custody agreement, was that we sort of got to choose where we went to high school. And my mom, unbeknownst to me, went to that Colorado Michigan game, and she had gone to Michigan for undergrad and Colorado for grad school. So she, cheered for both teams. And she just said, whichever team wins this game is going to be a sign. She was feeling like she should maybe move with me out to Colorado, but just was sort of praying about it and thinking about it. And she said, I'm just going to go to this game, and whoever wins, maybe that's going to be the sign that I need. So at the end of the game, she started feeling sad that she thought Michigan was going to win. And so she thought in her mind, well, maybe that's the sign, maybe that was that I'm telling myself that I actually really wished Colorado had won so that I could. And lo and behold, one of the greatest plays and finishes ever in the history of college football.
Yes.
Cordell Stewart and Michael Westbrook, the Hail Mary. And she said, she just went,
oh my gosh,
nuts. They went on a Hail Mary, and she came home.
That's a divine intervention right there.
I'm telling you,
Ashley, I never knew that story.
You didn't? Oh my gosh.
It's
a wild story. And my mom comes home. I'll never forget. I was sitting in the kitchen. She comes home and I think had been drinking a little bit, and runs into the dishwasher, and she's like, we're moving to Denver. And I was like, what are you typing? She goes, did you see the game? It was the best finish. I can't believe it. She was still yelling.
No. Oh my God.
And I had no idea. I had no clue. And Melissa was at this game. It was
I remember where I was sitting. I didn't even really know what was going on. Because of course,
and nobody did. Because it it was a wild finish. It was insane.
Yes. But I looked up to see that ball going right in. And everybody, all the Michigan fans just sat there.
They're stunned.
It was,
and that was what my mom
stunning.
said. She goes, everyone was stunned. And she goes, and I was just going nuts.
Yes,
I couldn't believe it. And she goes, and it was exactly what I needed. It was all of the answers that I sort of
cool.
Yeah. And
she was all for your mom.
She left her fate up to the college football
up to Cordell Stewart.
Up to Cordell Stewart and Michael Westbrook. That's insane.
That is insane.
The best part is I got to meet Michael Westbrook last year because he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. We were in Boulder, and I told him that story on the air. I was like, I don't know how to tell this story without getting into like my family dynamics and history, but it was really, I was like, so I'm sure you've been told a lot about that catch and all the things, but it like legitimately changed my life. So
wow.
Yeah.
There we have it.
I will
and here
never
we are.
see that game the same again. Ever.
I know. It's,
that is crazy.
I've come to appreciate it even more as I've gotten older. And when we get my mom on the podcast, we'll definitely tell that story.
Gosh, I'm so glad
when's your mom? Is your mom coming on soon?
We got to come. We just got to keep
We're
talking
trying to
about
get her
it.
really drunk so she'll come on.
She's feeling a little, nervous. She's like, I got to practice. She told me the other day. She's like, I got to practice. I'm like,
I know.
No, you don't.
You don't need to practice. You just need to have a glass of wine. Yeah.
I know.
That's the goal. That's the hope.
Comfortable pod. I know.
So I'm thankful for the miracle at Michigan. I'm thankful for the Heisman because without the Heisman, I wouldn't be sitting here with you two amazing women. And I don't know. I feel like this is really special. And Melissa, we're doing a 2.0. I know I like joke that everyone's like, oh, you always say that we got to have you back on, but I really mean that. We're going to do a 2.0.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to do a 2.0 in person too.
Yes.
For sure.
That would make me so happy. Even, I mean, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good luck against the Jags this weekend.
Yeah, beat the Jags 23-10.
23-10. Okay. Yep. So we're all going to manifest.
Oh, wait. You know what? I just realized that this is actually going to air after the game. So do you want to manifest a Vikings win?
Let's manifest any win with the Lions. Okay. I know we did 3 in a row. That was awesome.
You've done 3 in a row. So
let's under our belt. Okay.
That's why we were also confused. It's the Vikings win because we secretly knew that. Yes.
Vikings for the December 11th game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is coming up before then, the day after the Heisman ceremony. And best of luck to all the moms involved in the Heisman this weekend.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Try to enjoy it and savor it.
Can't wait to watch. All right.
Love
thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa. You're amazing.
This was the best. Melissa Hutchinson, the one and only.
Thank you guys.
Boom.